With just over a month to go, Justin Thomas continues to hold the top spot in the FedEx Cup standings, fueled by two victories and an impressive 8 top 10 finishes. As one of the headliners of this week's World Golf Championship, Thomas joined the media yesterday and spoke about his mindset entering such an important stretch of the year.
These next 6 weeks are all very important. It's obviously important, the next 3 weeks in terms of the win of rewards, but the playoffs is what we all try to be peaking for, and what you need to. It doesn't matter how many times you win or how great you play the entire year. You need to play well those playoff events, and that's something that I feel like I've been trending upward. Slowly but surely, each and every week to try to make sure that we're peaking, come 3 weeks from now.
Is getting back to number one, is that one of your goals that you wrote out at the beginning of the year, or is that something where you've been there, done that, and it's not that important anymore?
It's extremely important. It's never something that I won't want to have and won't be trying to get to if I'm not there. So, no, the thing about that is it's not about getting there, it's how long can you stay there. There's a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's, however many, a certain amount of people that have been there, but, there's only a very small amount of people that have held it for a long amount of time, and that's what I'm trying to do.
What would you consider a long amount of time?
Anything longer than the 2 weeks that I have it, I know, or whatever it is. No, I mean, I would hope to have it, a couple of years by the end of my career.
Okay, so JT got his sights set at the top of the mountain, and Damon Hack, we heard him there talking about how much he's looking to peak over the next 2 weeks, and also, of course, into the FedEx Cup playoffs. In your opinion, how does a peak JT compare to the other players out there when he's at his very best?
Peak JT is the best player in the world. And by the way, put that clip in every classroom in America and every boardroom in the United States as well. Peak JT is a chest-bumping, fist-pumping dynamo with every shot in the bag. I love how he articulates what he wants and goes after it. Everything in his upbringing has been about being great, about being the best player in the state of Kentucky, Haskins Award winner as a freshman at Alabama, a winner of a major championship, a winner of the FedEx Cup, 12 PGA Tour wins, never satisfied. Been number one, but only for 2 weeks. I love that. He's never satisfied. It's a lesson for all of us.
Yeah, and Damon, it comes in a variety of different packages, right? We've seen peak JT, ball striking. We've seen peak JT putting. But to me, when you're talking about peak JT, it's about the intensity that he brings. It's about his mindset. When I think back to President's Cup, and he got so excited with that putt, I'm going to be me, or whatever he ended up yelling at Tiger Woods. And then even Memorial, where in a crowdless arena, we heard the yell of Justin Thomas to get into this playoff, or during the playoff, with Colin Morikawa. That's the kind of peak JT I'm talking about. I love the intensity. I love the focus. It brings out, an animalistic type of competitiveness that I love watching. It makes it, fascinating to watch. And I think that's what separates him from some of the other players.
There is no doubt, Paige, an intensity that maybe since Tiger Woods, somebody that really, enjoys watching a really good shot come off, or the putt, like the one he did at Workday. And when I see JT and I think of Workday, I can't help but be reminded of Riviera when he blew a big lead and JB Holmes won, and he went into, I don't want to say a slump, but for him, he didn't play that well for a while. He lost a 3-up lead with 3 holes to go to Colin Morikawa at Workday. I'm curious, Damon, you and I have discussed this before about how we thought that affected him at Riviera. I'm curious how this is going to affect him going forward, losing that 3-up lead. It bothered him. It wasn't all his fault, but he did make 2 bogeys finishing up. We know how good a peak JT is, but is this going to bring on one of those little flat times? You just don't know.
I don't think it's going to affect him long term, in particular because there are so many big events in this now condensed rest of the 2020 season. So Justin Thomas knows he has some big appointments to make. And I love the fact that you guys are bringing up Tiger Woods. Think of the comfort level that Justin Thomas has with Tiger on and off the golf course. How many partners have we seen play alongside Tiger in a Ryder Cup and President's Cup and absolutely shrink and absolutely struggle. That's the story of Tiger Woods' career in the Ryder Cup and President's Cup, is having guys just not play that well alongside him. And you mentioned it, Paige, the I love me some me comment right next to Tiger, chest bumping Tiger, raising his level of play alongside Tiger. It doesn't happen very often. It tells you the kind of player in person and the belief system that Justin Thomas has.
Yeah, and thank you both for correcting me. Workday and I love me some me. But I do want to make the point that I think Workday was different. I think the way that he started and he stumbled and he was able to get back into it. We saw that intensity from the 8th hole through the 15th hole. So I think it's slightly different because it wasn't slowly leaking oil throughout the day like it was in Riviera. He actually was able to come out of the sleepy start that he had, play some incredible golf, and then not ultimately get it done at the end. So I think those are two slightly different examples.
Yeah, I mean, Damon, you mentioned his relationship with Tiger. He's got that grittiness, that stubbornness, that fierce competitiveness about him that no doubt Tiger identifies in a young himself. And we heard him also in that sound talking about his desire and how much he wants to get back to world number one. Now, we often hear the likes of Rory saying, well, if I just play good golf, the number one ranking will look after itself. But JT quite openly goes out there and say how much he wants to hold on to that top spot and dominate it. What does that tell you, Damon, about his mindset about wanting to kind of have the fame, have the limelight, and be the big dog on campus?
Listen, everybody wants to do well and be great, but Justin Thomas articulates it and shares it and walks the walk, talks the talk. The fact that Rory a few years ago said, I wish I had a little more Justin Thomas in me, a little more stink, a little more of that edge. And we're talking about one of the best players of this generation, recognizing what Justin Thomas has, being a little bit different. I just think it's the entire way that Justin Thomas presents himself. I've been there before, I'll be there again. There's a comfort level inside the ropes that he has. And just, I think anything less than superior golf absolutely bothers him. Why am I out here on the PGA Tour if I'm not going to be the number one player in the world, winning big tournaments, and being the best that I can be? I think he's an absolute dynamo of energy, of belief, and the skill set obviously is second to none when everything is firing.
There's an absolute desire that he has that really most other people don't have, a competitive desire to beat you. He said, I don't want to just beat you, I want you to quit. And I think in his mind, there's a difference between number one in the world golf rankings that Jon Rahm has right now and being the best player in the world. There were times when DJ was the number one in the world that we knew he was the best player in the world. Tiger, of course, Greg Norman, we knew that he was not just number one. It's disputable now if Rahm is truly the best player in the world, even though he's ranked number one. I think Justin wants to be the best player in the world and let everyone know it. And I don't think he's going to stop trying until he gets there.
Well, JT teeing it up this week in Memphis, he's got to be a firm favourite. And hey, let's hope he's watching this, because if he was in any doubt of his self-confidence, then I think we've just fueled his fire and just to celebrate what an incredible competitor Justin Thomas is.